Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines. It's good to be back here in T-Town, and over in this area you can see we've got some death problems. This is just the typical cycle. I can't even be bothered to deal with it sometimes. I just love sitting back and looking at the city. It's doing ever so good, making us tons and tons of money, and man, this stuff just looks so cool. But I did a live stream between the last episode and this one. It was very productive. But we didn't work on this area over here. Oh no, we're working on the area all the way over the other side from where I made an episode that I was unhappy with and decided to not really show that one. So I kind of had an episode of me building all of this stuff over here, building an industrial area on this side, and then being really unhappy with it. So I took the time to think a lot about how I wanted to do this, and then we went ahead and we built it all in a live stream. Now the first thing I want to comment on is this right here. This is temporary. This is something we need to fix in this episode because I have lazily just left that like so. And we'll come back to that in a second. What I really want to talk about is this area over here. So you can see there is a very sort of specific and possibly odd looking layout which I'm going to describe to you. This layout is designed for us to have a really cool flow of traffic, something that we can deal with nice and easy. Now what we're looking at right here is one of the problems that I've actually got to deal with, but we'll come back to that in a second. I'm glad there's a queue there because I think I know how to fix that problem. Right, so let's talk about what's coming into the city here. We've got trucks going in on either side and trucks coming out, and I think we'll actually have more traffic coming out as this generally just creates traffic. Like, you know, a train will arrive and it will have its own imaginary trucks that it sends out. If they ever come back again, I don't know, but we'll be able to accommodate for that because we built this thing out of highways. So our incoming traffic goes over to the side here, and notice that these two connections are on the left hand side. I think they should have technically been on the right, but I'm not really worried about that. Anyway, so the traffic from other places can join onto this, and then these are all one-way roads heading up to the top, like so, going all the way up there, and that means we have no traffic lights right here, so we're sort of playing with vanilla traffic a little bit. And I don't believe there would be any over here as well, so the traffic is free to move to wherever it's going. This guy's going to make a turn, and then he'll probably arrive at some industry. Man, look at these. There is not a lot of variety between each of the buildings, is there? Did that guy go all the way through? Is that the same truck? Can't be the same truck. Anyway, the roads then convert to highways at the end here so that they don't have traffic lights when they converge together. And then they all converge at this point and they head around here. And again, I picked a highway because it's a 3-lane road and it's a fast one as well. Now the problem that we got here, I think I know how to fix, because here's the problem. Some want to turn in here, some don't, and lots of things are leaving it. But they're all using the same lane. So, come on, give me an example. You right there should not have been using that lane. And I think the way that we fix that, well actually, it's all saying they're right-hand turns. Which they sort of are, but not really. That's not really a right-hand turn, is it? Either way, I think the way that you fix this is by changing the arrows, and you do that by, you know, adding a turning somewhere. So if there is this here, that doesn't change the arrows, and that might be because we've got a highway in front of us. So that is a 4-lane one-way road, and we're going to upgrade it to the same type. And now the other ones are straight over, and the left-hand one. Okay, so a couple of things have moved into the next lane. But this lane right here is still the same, is it not? You see, they come down this side and then they shift over to go straight on because no one wants to turn left. Now, I was hoping that that would make all of this a left-hand turn. And it might be that... Oh, wait a minute. No, has it started to... No, it hasn't. I was hoping it would start to make an effect at some point. Or maybe now it is actually. Maybe there's new traffic that realises it doesn't want to go down there. What happens if we put a turning here as well? Are these trucks going to go, no, I don't want to turn left and go into the next lane? Because if they do, and it appears like they are, they can go straight over. Oh, excellent. We just solved it, I think. Oh, and then maybe not. Now, maybe there's a throttle here. Yeah, there's a throttle, look, because you want to go straight over. See, we're doing it. We're sorting it out with vanilla traffic. Now, I would love to get more of them using these outside lanes, but that looks like it could be a little bit tricky too. Again, we have like these multiple options. What happens if we put another little off thing here? Does that mean more people will want to use the middle lane? I don't know. We're going to have to experiment with it, but if we were to pull this back, this turning here a little bit, we'd at least get a bigger a buffer size. The other problem is that they're sort of on opposite ends to one another, aren't they, as well? So one of the things we might do is swap these around so that it's on the other side of the road. Then it means that it would be turning in front, or if you imagine it's reversed, the traffic's coming down here, so it turns in, and the traffic coming out isn't on the opposite side of the road, which would make a massive difference. And that's part of the challenge that I was hoping to encounter here, trying to solve things with the vanilla road system, basically, as opposed to using the mods, which is what we're trying to do, and we've definitely got a challenge in front of us. But anyway, let's continue describing the road system. So, if a truck here needs to visit another one over the other side, which is something I heard can happen, then they can take the right-hand turn here and go back round onto this area. Actually, I think the right-hand turn goes to the opposite area. Yeah, they can go up there, go down this side, and go back into the area to deliver goods. Now, that's the same for these things, if they get goods that need to go to these areas. Again, not 100% sure how it all works, but you know, the option's there, and then if they go on the right hand side, they go to the opposite area. So we keep all of the traffic moving through in like a one-way system, and then on their way out to go back into the city, they can also come back round into either area, which should be really good in the long run. Now what we've got to fix is this right here, so I'm probably going to have to swap them over onto the opposite side and change up how the trains here work a little bit. But that's what we did in the live stream. Believe it or not, this took me 2 hours to put together. Let's zoom in at some of the details here. We've got parks, we've got paths everywhere. I want to put in some subways at some point so that workers can get over here using public transport. And the idea is to accommodate for like a high amount of traffic, and we're starting to generate that over here a little bit. But I was hoping that we would literally just see, you know, constant trucks streaming in here and have it all move around organically, which is what we're going to try and achieve. So as we solve problems like this, we can expand our operation, make it even bigger, and have more fun with it. And yes, this is all about having fun for me. I have painted this area using some of the tools with the resources. We've also got the infinite mod on, so you can see that they're not going to wear out these resources. And it's just because I want to generate traffic and have fun making a system like this. Anyway, I do believe that I have now sufficiently explained this. We're going to focus on this first of all. Going to try and make the change that I just described. And then we're going to have to come over here and build like a spaghetti junction at some point. And it really is going to be a massive spaghetti junction. So my plan is that for this area right here, to sort of leave it how it is and just demolish stuff that's in the way and build our spaghetti junction in the middle of it. And then when we finish connecting it to all the roads, we should have something pretty interesting to look at, right? I reckon it'll be interesting to look at. And then in this surrounding area as well, we might start to make some sort of low education, low services, sort of ghetto areas where there's just tons of cheap housing all packed together, and then they'll be for the workers that come over into this area. So that is the plan. Let's jump into it and do this one first of all. Alright, so problem solved on one side. Now I was staring at this for a while until it hit me that this one right here needs to be on this side of the road, and I do want to have this mirrored like so. So we were looking at this one, and this one now doesn't have the problem, right? But this one over here didn't have the problem before. Now I've been told, I think by Biffa said, that you could get a mod to actually just click on one of these and switch the ways in which it goes in and out, which we'll do for that side probably to correct that issue. You know, I can solve it and put it on this side, but I love our little parallel setup here, which I want to keep. And then as for that, we've got to watch how the traffic behaves after they go in and come out. It's a little bit of a case of switching lanes a lot, which might mean that we need maybe extra roads just being pulled off the side. And these ones right here, they make a massive difference. They actually, yeah, do quite a lot, because without them, they all tend to pile up on this left-hand lane and go straight down here. So, I mean, I like to see this. We're clearly understanding the traffic a little bit more and making use of it, so to speak. And look at that. Our little trains coming in here as well. All is good. And over on the other side, I try to just improve this a little bit temporarily, but it's pretty awful. So our next priority as of right now is to create a big old spaghetti junction right here. So I am loving this. We got traffic problems to be solved indeed. I've got a feeling the trick here might be to change it to a 2-lane road, because they're coming down this middle one and then they try and change across to the lane right before the jump, and some of them want to go straight over. One of you please go straight over. It does happen, believe me. Anyway, let's go look at the crazy big junction that I built. It is crazy, it is big, and it is ugly. Ah, what is this thing right here? What is that traffic? That's not supposed to happen. Well, it's happening. And I think we can solve this one. I was looking at this, and I think it's this turning right here that's throwing everything off, because if it were back here, they'd be adjusting their lanes differently, right, to get across. Instead, you've got all this traffic coming down the left side, I think because of these turnings, and then they want to go across traffic and up there. That could possibly it, or it could be something to do with this. But either way, I think that we can solve it. And in building this thing, I feel like I've tried to compact it all, which actually kind of makes it look ugly. It might have been smarter to build some smoother roads and just use up more space to do that, and then we would have given ourselves more flexibility after to adjust things as well, because modifying this is going to be real difficult. So we could either move that over here, or what we could have done is have these two sort of go alongside this road parallel to it and join up later on, and there's plenty of space for that. So, you know, there's a whole bunch of ways to do things, and this is our first time with a big massive junction, so maybe next time what we do... Yeah, so it's our first time with a big junction, and maybe what we'd do next time is give ourselves a lot more space. I don't feel like rebuilding this thing. It took me a long time, believe it or not. So we'll try that out. We'll move this one over here. Alright then, this area over here is looking good. I got the mod, by the way, to switch it around. It adds a little option at the bottom. And with a 2-lane road here, this works just fine. And occasionally it backs up a little bit, but for a while now it's been good. This industry is booming, this one over here is not. I think the need for services is going to kick in soon. And my thoughts were that we would zone some more residential and then people would come over here. But there's demand for industry. Maybe it's demand for offices, but no one's moving over here. So we need to build like a worker population, and we'll probably do that over here. This place is an absolute mess. I added in some little like trailer park home type bits over here with the lowest form of road. And the little change that I made here looks really ugly and didn't seem to make too much of a difference, but it has improved. Anyway, it also means there's tons of traffic shuffling over into this part of the city, and the traffic here can be extremely bad sometimes. It's actually improved since I come back over here. But I was thinking, why don't we like migrate this industry and get rid of it and let the pollution go away and maybe replace this with commercial and some more residential districts. So over here we've got 2 industrial. This one is specialised and this one isn't, so I don't really know what's going to happen here, but I think we're going to remove all of this immediately. Say goodbye to it. This is going to be repurposed into something different, and then we should see a lot more traffic coming to this part of the city. Now I'm hoping that also means that of course more businesses are going to pop up over here and we're using this thing. So I'm seeing some trash issues and crime issues. What I need to do is somewhere along here create like a central service road that can connect to this over here, and also they can get back to it as well, which shouldn't be too difficult. I think it's going to be a case of building a little off-road off of this bit and then connecting it all together somehow, which might be tricky because these are all built up bridges. What if we put a road... Aha, we can fit a road underneath like that. Excellent. So on there we'd have services and they can make their way into these parts of the city. So that's what we'll do next. Any immediate effect though? Do we see things popping up? Feels like maybe 1 or 2 since we last checked. But there you go. And if we do fill this up, another thing we can do, by the way, is come over here and just shorten these roads by doing that and then downgrading this side. And it'll give us a little bit more room to just extend it even further. And there you go. It's backing up a little bit, but even when it backs up, it's still just going straight through there, isn't it? The problem appears to be that these ones want to go onto the other lane and there's no room for them. That's kind of annoying, and I think that's because of this right-hand turn here. The roads are tricky to work with. What if we then... You see, this is now a 2-lane road. What if we were to create a chop up here and then upgrade it to a 3-lane road again, or maybe even a 4? We'll start with a 3. There we go, 3 one way. Okay, that one's not allowed though. I think that was already a 3 up there. And then demolish those bits. And let's see. You see, we've still got this massive bulk of traffic coming through. Wow, it's backed up. So we can sort of do live experiments here. Okay, so... No, there's still some shifting going on there. Maybe we'll try... Now, the problem here is if we upgrade it to a 4-lane road, we can't... Oh, we can upgrade that. Excellent. Oh, we couldn't upgrade it because it was already a 3-lane road. That makes sense. Alright, so it goes from 2 to 4. And no, they all just want to go straight over into the left-hand lane. It's kind of frustrating, really. I don't know if they all update immediately. Anyway, I'll mess around with that and we'll try and get that working. And are we seeing more industry? Yeah, we're clearly seeing some more pop up over here. So removing it on this side help. We're just doing the one bit. Oh wow, that's on fire. That's not good. That is going to affect the heating across the city quite poorly. Oh, maybe not. No, apparently we have a huge amount available. Anyway, there you go. That area has been cleared out, and that's probably going to help with the traffic over here a fair bit. Yeah, and we won't repurpose this straight away. We'll sort out the industrial first. And it hasn't helped at all. We now got major traffic problems. It's been here for a while. Don't know what to do about that. I mean, this whole thing needs rebuilding, but it's kind of cramped. There's not a lot of space, which is one of the mistakes I think I've made with that area. Anyway, coming back down to here, I've made some important modifications, been doing some experiments, and over here you can see we've got two of these cargo bays. That one needs to be switched to the other side. And they're not getting used at all. Now, I put two of these in on the same road down the middle, and they were using it, but we've got these horrendous traffic problems we need to solve. So I put them on these outside lanes, and they stopped using them at all, which is kind of bizarre. So I'm thinking about disabling these and letting the traffic come through to this bit, because I've got a feeling that having it on a separate road on the side might be the way to go. Now, anyway, the main problem is up here, no matter what, they always change from this lane into the one on the left. Of course, they're not doing it now because I'm recording, and you may notice that some of the junctions have been moved elsewhere. So now our turning to get to the other side is off this main road. And yeah, just trying all sorts of different things to fix traffic problems here, and it's not really working. So my next idea is to have it so that these two are enabled. Let's actually start doing that right now. I'm going to turn these ones off, and we'll see how it goes. And they're all unhappy, but they've got these ones right here. Don't be sad face. Yeah, anyway, you may notice this extra road around the side here. This is one of these extra ones that are in here because of the mods. They're like a very small one-way lane. And what I've done is I've added in this one-way road that has a fire station and a police station on it. And that gives them direct access into all of these areas. And then they can turn off at the end here, which is a little bit risky. And I'm yet to actually watch one of them turn off, but I imagine it's not too good. And then it's the same thing on this side over here, so that just gets services to these areas, which helps things a little bit to some extent, although they seem to get by without as well. And what's happening now? They're still going in there even though it's been turned off. Fascinating. Maybe after a while they'll then start using these ones. But yeah, I'll continue to experiment with this, but so far it hasn't really gone too well. So what are these episodes like, eh? Me forever struggling with traffic, it seems like, and it's happened again. So let's not talk about traffic immediately. Let's talk about this area here. I was talking about making some ghetto-like areas, and this is it. There's just loads of these sort of dirt roads going off a main road, and there's quite a lot of housing here. I doubt it really homes a lot of people. 2 to 3 households. How many people is that? Well, I can count. 7, 9, something like that. Yeah, probably not as good as high density, which we could also experiment with. And you know what, because it's nighttime, it's kind of hard to see it. Let's speed it up a little bit. Yeah, it just sort of covers this area, and I think what I'm going to do is probably fill in most of this area right here and just expand it outwards, maybe put some commercial areas in there. But it hasn't really provided too much of a boost to the workforce over here. What I've noticed is that even though there's this demand, there doesn't seem to be any interest in oil. So this demand can't be for oil, and I don't know what you have to do to get more oil. And you know, examining these buildings, I can see that there are a few less workers than normal. I wonder if that's something to do with the way you get over here, because these ones are mostly just 1 or 2. Well, actually, it's probably pretty similar, isn't it? Yeah. So anyway, I struggle to analyze and figure out exactly what's going on. It's all sort of theory, but trial and error does work. Like over here, this is not so great, and couldn't get this one to work either. So I don't know what to do about that. Probably need to give it another little bit of thought. But anyway, as I said, traffic. Over here, I decided to make an adjustment. I decided to change this little join over here and create an underroad that goes around to this side. Now, can you see how it's a single lane? Before, it was the normal free wide lane like this, and it meant that every car coming out would go to the far side of the road, and it would cause a backup. And it was really strange, and it wasn't until I changed the road type after reworking the road several times that they just come out and now go into the lane in front of them. So that's an interesting behaviour, and one you have to deal with traffic management. But since I've improved this, it's then created like a backlog effect over here and caused some really nasty traffic. There's a massive queue of it coming back here. I mean, it gets worse than this sometimes. At the moment, I'd say it's pretty good. And you can clearly see the problem right here is that they're trying to merge onto this one lane right here. All the traffic going down the same place. Now, if we watch the traffic coming in here, it's after this bit that they all shift over to this lane, and I really don't get why they do that. And I've tried changing it, tried many things, and they just all want to drive in the one lane. And then further up ahead, they'll probably change lane as well. You know what, I can see why it is they go into that lane, because this is the next turning. I wonder if, do you know what I haven't tried? All these things that I've tried, if I have a turning there, does it then mean they're going to sort of look at it a little bit later? It might take a while for that to sort of figure itself out. And yet again, another problem is like coming this way. They have all sorts of trouble converging with the traffic there. You know what? I sort of figured that one out a little bit earlier, didn't I? What if it was... Oh god, that's the wrong type of road. That is the wrong type of road indeed. What if it was like that? Would they just go onto this lane here and not have so many problems? That might actually work better, funny enough. Because that's how it used to be. So maybe we fix that one. And yeah, there was some like traffic backing up here as well. But I really like this area. I really like the way the traffic shuffles into the city. Although you can see we get some quite big backups in areas. But other than that, I'm liking it. And do you know what? I kind of worry about how these videos come across, because there is just a lot of me talking about traffic and not understanding it. Getting a bit of a backup there, aren't we? And I don't know if that's the most entertaining thing, but basically as I'm building the city, you want it to work and look good, and I'm forever just scratching my head at things that are going on. And so it kind of, yeah, it becomes a little bit of a trivial thing. So they're not going for this, but I'll probably try... Oh, now they're going to shift lanes here because of that turning. Fascinating stuff, isn't it? Oh, I wonder if, because originally this was this type of ramp and I upgraded it later. What if that makes a difference to the way they behaved before it? Like, now they're not fussed because it's a different type of road ramp. I don't know. Some of you probably know the answers to this already, and you're thinking, X, you should listen to me. But, there you go. It was an idea, and it was a bad one. Yeah, you know, road systems generally put their exits on the same side all the time. And I can see why, but this might alleviate after this main bulk of traffic has sort of switched over. It almost looks like it's starting to do that a little bit, but there's just too much traffic coming through for it to get all the way across. So stuff further down the line might figure it out, but that's not solved the problem either. And so I guess I'm just going to have to keep giving it a try and trying out different things. But I tell you what, I do enjoy playing in this world, and I've got more time to play at the moment, but I don't feel like recording. I feel like just wrapping this one up, see what you guys think of it, and I'm just going to hang out here in the world and look at stuff and make little tweaks and probably work on expanding this area as well and seeing how this turns out. Because by the way, this has got no services whatsoever over here. And since I actually expanded all this, I've noticed that my money has just been in the negative constantly, which I don't understand why this sort of population increase here would particularly affect, but more than likely it's traffic, things not being able to arrive to their destination on time. And wow, the traffic coming through here is actually quite thick now, isn't it? Travelling through the middle of the city. So yeah, fingers crossed I can solve this problem, but probably not. Anyway, that is going to be it from me, this episode of City Skylines. Do hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, leave a like on the video. As always, thank you for the support. Hope you're enjoying the videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.